Hello and welcome back to BannerKings, and we are here with another voting decision. So what are we going to do? Well, that's the funny thing. Gyarios we actually have 100 relation with now. So I kind of think to myself, maybe we should do something a little bit different. Maybe we should go for Saratus or Apis or something like that. Maybe that would be a good idea. There we go. Let's do that. We're going to reduce our relation with him a little bit. Obviously, Saratus is now at -5, which is probably not the best idea. But, well, I don't know whether it really matters that much, you know. Because he's obviously going to be around for quite some time. And maybe he doesn't have a huge amount of, you know, a huge amount of influence in the area. And as a result, we could just kind of chill, you know, we don't need to worry about it too much. All right, so first of all, what I actually want to do is I want to make my way back to Rote, or I want to get back to some kind of friendly territory here. And the main reason why I want to do that is just to get some mercenaries, just to fill out our army somewhat, because we actually do have a rather significant party size capacity now, and that's kind of what I want to do. I just want to go and see if I can increase that somewhat, and that's going to obviously make a huge difference to our overall capability to take castles by ourselves, for example. So let's see how that goes. Just gonna let those prisoners go. We're gonna get a little bit of roguery skill there, and obviously if I can, I will try, if possible, I will try to get some wood as well. Yeah, I'm still looking for wood. It is so annoying actually that we have to find those kinds of things, but you know, that's just how it is. Anyway, 838,000. Okay. 838,000. I'm just going to get rid of everything then. There you go. 611,000 I just gained just from selling every little bit of armor I just got. That is incredible. That is actually insane. And look at this. I can even do more. I can even do more right here. But obviously we're starting to get into the little... into the small numbers, shall we say. So there you go. 832,000 in cash. If you can believe that. That is insanity. Alright, so let's recruit local mercenaries. So basically, we can recruit these guys. And these guys, from what I know from the base game, they are just terrible. They are really, really bad and super easy to defeat normally, but in BannerKings, I'm kind of interested. So I'm going to try to get a couple of them, and we're going to see what kind of stats they have. Because here's the thing: if I get a load of these guys, we are then going to have the possibility of being able to chase down people super fast and super easily. As you can see, they're not that good. They do have thrown weapons, which is obviously pretty decent. Their wages are pretty low, but their armor, as you can see, is extremely light. So they're going to die very, very fast, but it could be good. I don't know. It could be good from a, should we say, relative standpoint. So, for example, as I said, if we have a lot of cavalry, it may make a little bit of difference to our overall speed on the world map. Let's do it. Why not? It's not going to make it easier for us to actually... am I not recruiting as many as I think, or am I not? I don't know. Anyway, it may be good, but it may also kind of come back to bite us, because here's the thing. Obviously, this does not give me any security whatsoever in taking a castle, because of course cavalry are pretty terrible in sieges. Alright, so I've made my way all the way here because I want to buy some wood. So we are going to literally just buy, I don't even know how much, 700. Yeah, sure, why not? We'll just buy 700 wood because I've had it. I've had it with these morale, you know, with these morale items. And if I had a place where I could buy a huge amount of beer, I mean, look at how much hardwood you can buy here. It's absolutely ludicrous. Look at this. I could literally buy 6,000 if I wanted to. Obviously, I'm not going to do that because I think that's a bit too overkill. But yeah, someone actually had a really good idea, which I may in fact decide to do, considering I have so much cash right now. It may make sense for us to get a wine press, for example. Get a wine press or get a brewery or something along those lines. Because if we can get a wine press and a brewery and we can basically say, you know, just sell 75% of the stuff and then we can just come back here periodically and pick up our raw resources that we've created. That sounds like a pretty good idea. So thank you very much for giving me that idea and or reminder, because I think we did something a little bit similar to that in the early stages of this series. So let's actually see what we can do. I'm not sure how much it's going to be, but I'm going to buy the wine press. It's going to be 106,000. Sure, why not? Okay, we have easily enough money to be able to do that. Oh, I don't want to enter the no, I don't want to enter the warehouse. Thank you very much. How do I actually sort this out? Oh yeah, we have to go here. Never mind. I always forget how to do this. There you go. Okay, so there's the wine press. And now let's actually see what's going on. So we need to store outputs in the warehouse. Let's put 25% in there. It's going to input grapes and it's going to output wine. And hopefully this is going to work out quite nicely for us. There's a bunch of grapes in and around this area. As you can see, Nidion and Veron both have grapes available. So Lagata should be a pretty exceptional place to create wine. And I can only hope that that is going to actually happen. If it doesn't, then I have no idea. However, one thing I do want to do, maybe Rote actually has a brewery. Because I'd like it if at all possible. If we can make this work, this is going to be absolutely fantastic because these towns are both next to each other. So it's going to make it so much easier for me specifically because then logistically, I'm not going to have a super far away to travel. And for me personally, I hate that. I really don't like traveling super far. Okay, so yeah, this guy actually has a brewery, so he knows what's up. 136,000. Sure, I'm going to buy that instantaneously. That's absolutely fantastic. So we actually have space for 5 workshops in and around the area. So this is pretty cool. And there are so many grain villages in the area as well. So this is going to be great. And we're going to just store output in the warehouse, 25%. We're just going to put that again. And what about Jalmaris? I think this is probably going to have a brewery as well. So why don't I go there too and actually just get the monopoly on the whole, on the whole thing, because this actually sounds like a great idea. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting carried away. Am I getting carried away by doing this? I might be. I don't know. Yeah, she's got the brewery as well as the bakery. I'm gonna buy the brewery. Should I buy the bakery? Should I buy the bakery as well? I actually don't know. Probably not. Okay, so Jalmaris, we're just going to say 25%. The bakery, unfortunately, is also going to be taking some of the grain, which is maybe not exactly great, but it's okay. We'll just see. I'm basically just gonna leave them alone for a significant amount of time. I'm not even gonna bother with them. I'm just gonna leave them alone, and I'm gonna see if maybe that. Maybe that's going to make a really good difference with the amount of stuff that we're going to get. Also, we've just gotten Keen Sight here, which reduces our sight penalty for traveling in forests. And we also have a minus 50% chance for prisoner lords escaping from our party. This could be very good for wars of attrition, where we capture people and we just don't let them go. And we just, continue capturing castles and towns and things when there are no lords on the battlefields. So that could be very useful. This guy is the owner of a mining enterprise? What does that mean? What is a mining enterprise? I have no idea. But this guy has a brewery as well. Do I want to get another brewery? I actually don't know. That could be a bit of a problem because this is right next to an enemy faction at the moment, at least. I think I have enough meat, but I'll buy some more. We've got some fine beer here. Do they have any wine? Wine doesn't seem to be that prevalent. I'm thinking that we'll probably just buy the brewery here. I think that sounds like a good idea. So let's buy that. I wish to buy your brewery. 156,000, sure, why not? There you go. Alright, so I literally just blew a huge amount of money. And, well, I hope it's good. I hope I've done a good job with this. Because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into my clan screen. And we are actually going to be taking a look and seeing exactly how much we're going to get from each one of these things. Because obviously, Jamaris and all the others, they've had a little bit of an opportunity to start their enterprises. And I'm very much hoping that because we haven't really done the thing that we did with Kuyaz's workshop earlier in the series, where we've changed the production tool, it's maybe going to be okay. Because as you can see right here, look at the wine press. It's actually getting us 436 gold every single day, which is incredible, actually. That's one of the things that I have never, ever seen before in my life. Ever since they nerfed workshops, workshops have just been absolutely pointless to me. But it's nice to see that that is not the case in BannerKings. It seems like there are indeed ways that you can create workshops that are going to give you some kind of benefit, which is great. That's absolutely wonderful. I love that, you know, because I want to see every single facet of the game being beneficial to the player in some way or another if you are going to be investing such a hefty amount of cash into it. 622. Yeah, I'm not going to be doing that anytime soon. Okay, let me actually just take a quick look here, because what I want to do is I want to try to target a castle that is very weak. And I'm not talking about weak as in, you know, 50 troops or something like that. I don't want to attack something that is that weak. I want to attack something that is, you know, kind of on the border of, well, half 600. So basically 300. Wait a minute, who's this? Who do we have here? Mantios. Hello there, Mantios. Let us fight, sir. Alright, here we go. Let me see. Nope, he's happy with his current leash. I was actually going to try to persuade him, potentially, but obviously that's not going to work. But yeah, anyway. Is this actually a good idea? I feel like this is a bad idea. Is this a bad idea for me to do this? He's got 28 Cataphractos units. We might have some issues with this. I don't know. Okay, fine. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the risk for entertainment. Okay, for entertainment value. And if we do end up failing, then you can just, you know, you can just chalk it up to the fact that generally, if I was playing this by myself and I wasn't doing this for a series, I probably would have just gone away from here. You know, I probably would have gone away from here, been like, ah, yeah, you know what, there's a bit too many. So I'm just going to wait until Mantios is a little bit further away from these villagers, and then, you know, see what happens after that. Because that definitely would have provided us with a, you know, a nice sizable advantage, because I obviously do have 60 more troops than he does. But yeah, let's see what happens. We are outnumbered, so this is going to be fun. I'm going to try to cherry pick a couple of enemies here if I can. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit difficult to do so with all these pole arms that they have available. Ooh, nice damage. Nice. Whoa, okay, hello. Alright, that's what I want to see. I want to see that every single day of the week. Thank you very much. Every single day of the week. And unfortunately, they are indeed watching out for me mostly. So, of course, they're going to be blocking me and no one else. So, it is making things a bit more difficult. But that's okay. That's absolutely fine. This guy doesn't know what's up, hopefully. No. He's a Cataphractos. He's going to be hard as nothing else. He's going to be really, really difficult for us to deal with. So hopefully my forces will be able to eliminate him. I actually really like the way our cavalry has come over to actually assist me in this endeavor, because let's face it, the Cataphractos units I actually think are the most dangerous to our own forces. And it's funny because the AI that I have with me, the allied AI, I mean, I don't know whether they have that same kind of, you know, threat acquisition or whatever, whether they actually believe that the Cataphractos units are the most powerful or not, but they're doing a great job of actually, you know, targeting something down that we actually should be. You know, these guys should be the priority target most of the time, unless we have, obviously, an overwhelming way of just killing huge amounts of other types of units. Because the amount of effort and time that it takes to actually eliminate these Cataphractos guys, we could probably end up killing, I don't know, 15, 20 regular infantry troops, which does seem to actually be happening elsewhere in the battle. So we don't need to worry too much about that, I suppose. But yeah, my horse's armor is actually fantastic now as well, by the way, because I did actually upgrade it, as I said. And so, as you can tell, you know, you see my horse's armor right now. It's gone orange. It's gone orange. So it is indeed going to be having a little bit of a problem in some time. But thankfully, at the moment, it seems to be going pretty well. Not terribly bad. I'm actually kind of surprised about this, but I suppose that is kind of to be expected. I do have a lot of cavalry, and someone did actually mention that cavalry is in fact the dominating force in BannerKings RBM, you know, whatever you want to call it, because the way that RBM works, obviously, is the way that it kind of makes archers a little bit less powerful. Because obviously in the base game, if you recall, you know, if you've ever if you've ever played with Battanian Fian champions, for example, then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Those guys are immense. They are super, super strong, and in comparison, the archers in RBM are, you know, they're still strong, but they're not going to be as strong because they do have to go through armor, and they do have to be very, you know, a little bit more accurate and everything. And so as a result, it does make them quite a significant amount less deadly. Because in the base game, of course, armor is not very impactful. You know, if you've seen some of my other series, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Like I've said multiple times in the past, whenever I've gotten myself eliminated from across the map, just in one shot because I've gotten headshot or whatever, that's what I'm saying, you know. And I'm wearing the best possible armor available at the time, and I just get shot and boom, dead. And that's actually kind of a nice thing about RBM. I really, really appreciate that, actually. Because being able to actually survive more than a couple of hits is pretty cool, especially considering you do actually have good armor. You know, when you don't have good armor, you are going to die just as quickly as, well, any other day, pretty much. But when you start getting good armor, and they're actually not that expensive either. Most of the pieces of armor that I have on right now, I mean, apart from the chest piece, of course, because I think the chest piece was about 50,000 or something like that. But generally, most armor you can buy are probably going to be purchasable for under 5,000. And you can probably earn that relatively easily. I don't think that's going to be particularly difficult to earn. At least, I mean, I think that is, in general, one of the major... should we say pain points. I think that's a major pain point in BannerKings itself. If I had to say what the major pain point is, or what the worst, shall we say not the worst, but the hardest thing to do in BannerKings would be, and that I would say that is to actually start. Literally, that is to actually start. I think the beginning of any character's life is the most difficult to deal with, because you have, well, you do have obviously the benefit of choosing a background, and you can choose your lifestyle and everything. So if you want to play a bandit, or you want to play a mercenary, or you want to play a trader like I did, or you want to play any of these other things, then you can of course decide to do that. But I think unless you start like you know, as a lord, or as a liege, or any of these really, you know, privileged backgrounds, and you're starting with nothing, let's say you start with nothing, it can be very challenging. Unless you have a strategy, you know, unless you have, you know, if you've worked out a really, really nice strategy and you can rely on that strategy to make a good amount of cash early on. Because generally, as I've said multiple times in the past as well, cash is the underlying factor for pretty much every single thing. It is kind of how it is in real life as well, where cash basically just drives everything. And, you know, to a certain extent, there are certain breakpoints for the amount of happiness, quote unquote, that you can have when it comes to cash. And it's the same thing in the game as well, because if you take a look at how much I have right now, I have, what is it, 2.7 million or something like that? At the moment, 2.7 million doesn't really do much for me anymore. Yeah, sure, I can actually purchase a couple of workshops and everything, and that's all obviously fantastic and very good. I'm going to take these guys prisoner because they're way too powerful for us to just let them run around. But what I wanted to say is basically just, if you have this amount of cash, you don't really have to worry about anything. And my protection, quote unquote, or my happiness level, if you want to equate it to a real life situation, is not going to really increase that much from this point onward. Because I have everything. You know, I have everything that I could possibly want with this amount of cash, unless there is another way for me to spend it. And of course there is. And that's the wonderful thing about BannerKings, because they have thought about this. They know that later, because obviously they've played this game. You know, they've played the base game. That's the reason why they've implemented so many of these other design choices. They know the various pain points that you're going to encounter as a regular player. And what I'm mostly talking about here is making a significant amount of money in the late game. I'm technically not even in the late game. I'm technically still in the mid game. But, you know, bear with me. Anyway, the point is, once you get to a certain point in the game, you're obviously going to then want to kind of graduate a little bit to actually trying different things out. And you're obviously going to try and make it so that enemies are going to get taken prisoner. You're going to have them, you know, do all kinds of other crazy stuff. And the money situation is just going to spiral. It's just going to absolutely spiral out of control. You're going to get so much loot. You're going to get ransoms. You're going to be able to capture fiefs. You will literally have nothing to worry about from that point on. And that's kind of the thing that you have to bear in mind. However, in BannerKings, there are certain things that you can do. For example, you can do things like, you can assume a culture different from your own culture, as you can see right here. So I could assume this culture if I wanted to, but the main thing I'm thinking about right now is books. I'm thinking about books because the thing is, with books, you can literally spend 1 million gold. You can spend 1 million gold, a cool million on that. And that is the reason why I think that BannerKings is very cleverly designed in that way, because it does provide you with that little extra like cash sink. Because normally that would not be the case. Normally you wouldn't have a book, or you wouldn't have any of these things that you could sink your cash into. With the exception of everything has a price, of course. But everything has a price is a completely different beast, and something, you know, discussion for another time. Because I mean, if you've seen all my series, or you've seen the series where I actually comment on what everything has a price is all about, then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about in regards to my complaints in that perk's disfavor. Because I actually really love the perk. I just think it's actually sucking right now. I think it just doesn't really do a very good job of doing what it's supposed to do. But anyway, as I said, you know, discussion for another time. But that's the reason why I think that in general, having a significant amount of cash in BannerKings can really make a big difference, because you're just going to get books, obviously, at that point. Now, this is the kind of castle I was talking about. This is a perfect castle for us to potentially try to take. The problem is I did lose quite a few troops in that previous encounter, so we may have an issue here. Do you think I can actually fight these guys? Yeah, I think I can. Yeah, no, they're fine. They're fine. I think we might be able to actually do this without too many issues. I am going to have to do a manual battle here. I'm not a big fan of going into manual battles when we're so close to a siege, because I'm always worried about getting myself killed. Because if I get myself killed, we're going to lose all of our benefits, you know, because I am indeed a scout for our party here. And being a scout, I do actually provide quite a few movement speed bonuses to our forces. And so if I do get taken out, then that's going to be a huge issue. But hopefully I won't. And yeah, this is obviously a bit of an issue as well. This is a wonderful battlefield. I actually really love these kinds of battlefields. But unfortunately, for my forces, we are going to have a bit of an issue crossing that bridge in the center. That might be somewhat problematic. I'm going to try and kill this guy's horse if I can. Yeah, I kind of want him to just run around randomly, you know, off his mount, because he's just going to be useless then, you know. Well, relatively useless, but yeah, as you can see, even the horses have great protection. And in fact, that is indeed the reason why I even created that short the other day. Because I was like, wow, that we actually did some pretty significant damage in that tournament, and everyone thought that it wasn't with RBM, and I was like, what? It is with. Oh, that was just hilarious. Because I was like, yeah, it's not tagged RBM. I should have tagged it RBM, shouldn't I? Yeah, I definitely should have done that, because otherwise people are going to think it's base game, because they can't actually see the UI or anything like that in the vertical format. But that's always just super funny anyway. But yeah, well, never mind. Yeah. Anyway, we can do some massive damage here. These guys just do not stand a chance. They literally just do not. I'm actually wondering, how many kills are my new cavalry getting? That's the question. Because on the one hand, I feel like, yeah, they're probably going to be pretty useful, just purely so that they can add an additional cavalry body onto the, you know, onto the battlefield, and that's pretty much what we'd use them for. But apart from that, are they actually useful? Do they actually do anything? Do they kill things? Are they doing any damage? I don't know. That's the answer to that question. I don't know. If they are, then that's great. If they're not, then I kind of wonder why I have them at all. But from what I can see, you know what I should do? I should have actually looked in that fight after we defeated Mantios. I should have looked and actually seen how many kills they gained, because well, I'm not going to get a very good reading on this one. This particular battle is not looking particularly good in general for any cavalry, because we are having this weird bridge situation, and most of my cavalry are stuck on the other side, as you can see. So it's really not very good at all. It's actually quite funny as well, because the enemy is acting really nicely here. Our opponents are keeping us on the bridge, forcing us into a bottleneck situation, and the enemy can then surround us. So they're doing a good job. It's just not enough to deal with our numbers and the highest tier of units that we're currently fielding. And that's exactly what's happening. As you can see, look at that. They just got absolutely stomped, which is exactly what you want, of course. That is exactly what you want. All right, so I'm going to take these guys prisoner, as you might expect. Going to take them all prisoner. And yeah, we'll just take all these and move on. Take all of that loot. And yeah, as I said, this castle is ripe for the picking. Or at least, I hope it is. Let's try and see if I can take it. I don't know whether we'll be able to, because there might be some strong armies nearby. I don't know, maybe there will be. If there is a strong army nearby, then we'll just have to assess how strong it actually is and whether we can take it on. But if it's got, I don't know, 600, 700 troops, I think I'm probably going to get out of there. I don't think I can handle that many. It obviously depends on their composition, because of course, as you know, if they have a bunch of levies and peasants and so on and so forth, that is not very dangerous, and we should have a pretty easy time of defending against that. However, we don't know. you know, we don't know whether that's going to be the case at the time. I'm going to take guards here as well, by the way. The guards perk at 150th polearm skill level, because plus 50% damage when you hit an enemy in the head with a polearm. Usually, obviously, because these perks are primarily geared towards, you know, the base game and actually balanced around the base game, most of the time I would say to you, yeah, this is absolutely useless in regards to everything except tournaments, because obviously when you go into a tournament, you're given a weapon, and if you have a polearm weapon and you can hit someone in the head with the polearm, you can just instantly kill them in a tournament, in the base game. But in RBM and in BannerKings, this actually becomes much more useful, because most of the time, if you hit someone in the head, if you don't get a face hit, or you don't get a hit that is critical in any way, and the enemy has a good helmet, you know, the enemy has a good helmet, you're going to need something like this, because then it's going to increase the damage by maybe a significant amount, enough that you would then be able to take them out. So that's another way that I think that RBM does a really, really good job of actually making some perks that would normally be relatively niche to being something that is a lot more mainstream and a lot more widely viable, which is very cool. I like that. Okay, so there's a ransom offer here. Sure, you can just take him. I don't mind. 600. Initially, I was actually thinking of not even bothering to sell any of these guys, but I was basically just taking them to sell them for the sheer fact that I just want as much roguery skill as I can get my hands on. And obviously, as it stands right now, I just do not have a fast enough party to be able to capture, or indeed catch, in the first place, any caravans. And it's absolutely driving me insane. Because whenever I try to, you know, chase after a bunch of caravans, it's just never going to work. It just never works for me. It's just like, no, you cannot catch these people. And I just, you know, infinitely cry. But there you go. That's it. Yeah. You know, that's kind of the thing that tends to happen. I actually want to eliminate these guys if I can, because they only have one town. It would be pretty cool if we could eliminate them, but obviously at the moment that's probably not going to happen. Okay. So let me actually just have a quick look here. Wait a minute. Can I can recruit local mercenaries. Ooh, we can actually recruit these guys. Are these guys actually any good? I highly doubt it, right? I highly doubt it. We could go back to Lagater. Oh, do I really want to go all the way back to Lagater? That's kind of annoying. I do want to do that siege. I really quite badly want to do that siege, because I'm kind of excited about that, because I'm actually going to take a different strategy to the next sieges, because obviously, as you might expect, because I've been playing the base game without RBM and a bunch of other mods without RBM, I am not used to how all of that works. I'm not used to how the AI tends to play and all that stuff. And so as a result, I tend to do the whole Rambo thing. You know, I tend to run in situations that would be absolutely abysmal to do so, and that generally tends to happen much more often than we would like. And so that's the reason why that happens. And so in the next couple of sieges, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be a little bit more patient. Let's go into the warehouse here. We have 6 wine. That's it? 6 wine? All right. Maybe I have to increase the share or something like that. I don't know. I don't really need the cash. So maybe we need to increase the share or something, because as it stands, the amount is kind of minuscule. It's kind of minuscule right now. Anyway, my morale is actually doing better than it ever has been. As you can see, we are literally at a maximum 100, just purely because of the wood supplies, as you can see. So it seems like wood really makes a huge difference. And so I'd highly recommend any of you playing alongside me and you're having problems with morale, hey, just go to Lagater. Just go to Lagater, because it always has, well, apparently, at least, it always seems to have a significant amount of hardwood available. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. Next time, we're going to try and take one of these castles. I'm excited. I'm excited to do that. And otherwise, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.